One of the reasons why we conduct a field trip is so people can take the knowledge that they've learned in the course so far and apply it to a real world situation. This year we went to India, Bangalore, and students who had just learned about how to conduct qualitative interviews, how to conduct some quantitative analysis, actually went out and looked at some real data which had just been collected and analysed it, and the results are being used for policy within the group of people who collected it. They also interviewed women in an income generating scheme who were giving them the real answers about what the effect of the income generating schemes are. And actually just going out and doing it for real, with real people in front of you, understanding the context, made a huge difference to how they perceived the methodology and the people and the issues themselves.
We worked with a trust called Bellicu, and so on the first day we were there, they have a couple of income generation projects about 2 hours out of Bangalore. So we went to go have a look at them, meet some of the women who work there. A lot of them have been there from the beginning, so they really spoke to us about, you know, how it started, how it kind of, you know, the basic concepts of it originally and how it's changed. They showed us how they produce a lot of the products, like paper and stuff like that, and that was really great. And then I think on the second day we went to a university in Bangalore, and we had I guess you would call them lectures, a couple of them with some of the women who are lecturers in Bangalore, not just necessarily at that uni. And it was kind of about how these income generation projects, not necessarily with just that trust, were making a difference in India, how fertility, things like that obviously we study here in the UK, how they view it, how they study it. So that was really interesting because you can see the connections, but you can also see how different it is from a developing country to a developed country.
By being there in that setting and by working with the Bellicu Trust, who have dedicated years of their lives to improving the lives of the rural women, that when we were looking at it back in Southampton, we were looking at numbers, whereas being able to do the qualitative interviewing as well, you understand people. And I think that's quite important even for someone who believes in quantitative statistics, you know, that you are maybe an economic determinist, you think everything can be defined by quantitative analysis, but actually even that analysis that you're doing, there are still real people behind the numbers, and being able to actually go to India and see them and meet them, it changes your perspective on what you're doing.
I can't stress enough the importance of this. It's one thing from hearing a lecturer say about issues with poverty. It's another thing going out and seeing those issues themselves. Some of the interviews that they conducted with these women were difficult interviews. I'm not going to say that they were easy with nice topic areas that they were talking about, but they actually understood about women's empowerment. They understood about the effects of doing something like an income generating scheme on someone's life. And to get that context, get that understanding behind the words, I think has changed some of our students' perspectives on the world in general, and definitely on the degree.
We spent a day as a group going around Bangalore, spice markets, stuff like that, so it was fascinating. It really was.
It was a really important experience, I think, to be able to see the world a little differently than you did when you went there, and understand people a little differently, and change the way you see research and the reasons for it.